So basically the video is kind of showing my recap of what I did last year.
Have you seen this? Let's go!
Seriously, that shows what I do, and in a sense, I'm a DJ. But who am I as a person? Well, for me, I think I'm a very emotional and passionate person when it comes to making music, being a DJ, being a performer, and making people happy. So what happens is that what am I going to say about is I'm going to talk about a lot of how you make your passion work and how you make emotions and passion go together and kind of combine them to create a perfect harmony and an extraordinary thing for yourself. So finding your passion, for me, this is my passion, and I wouldn't trade this for anything in the world. I still don't believe that's me on stage, but finding a passion for me, I kind of didn't find it. It found me. It happened when I started off making music and playing shows and stuff when I was 15, but when I found my passion was when I was 12. Don't bother how I found it, because it just happened. We had this little console on the second floor of our house, and I just played around with it, and I was always into music. I used to play the trombone, guitar, piano, but then when I started DJing, and it kind of just clicked. And my first show was when I was, I think, 15 in 2010. And when I got off stage, and my show was entirely to my family, so they obviously were really happy and proud of myself. But when I saw the emotions on their faces and the excitement of me being on stage for them, and me kind of having the energy and transmitting the energy from them to myself, something clicked in me and said, "Oh, I really want to be doing this to everyone, to 10,000 people. This is what I want to do for my rest of my life. I want to inspire. I want to create. I want to make changes in people's lives. I want them to dream more and believe that they can actually get somewhere by one day going upstairs and playing on a little CD, and that just makes it happen." So when I say passion is the key to success, obviously, you need to have passion in everything you do. You can easily be working in a bank, and you're getting a lot of money, you're supporting your family a lot more, and your entire family, your mother and father, are happy that you're working in a bank, but that's not what you want to do, and you're not doing it with passion. While you could be, say, you want to be a sports star, and you know that that's your passion, and you know that you want to fulfill that passion. So the difference is that when you work in your passion, you make sure that you don't screw that up. And for me, I sacrificed a lot. I sacrificed I spoke to my dad last year, and I was going to university. I'm like, "Dad, I have no friends at uni because I'm always back home playing shows, or I'm always in the studio making music, or I'm just working." So he says, he told me that you need to sacrifice stuff to make your dream come true, to make your passion come true. So as an artist that has made, not my dream come true yet, but have made it to a global stage, I would say that, leave your bank, leave the job, and do what you want, do your passion, because in the end, you won't screw that up. This you might, and you'll still be fine with it, but this you realize you won't screw that up. You lose a lot of money in the start, and you lose a lot of support. You want people that hated on me in the beginning and saying, "Oh, you're just a kid," but because it's my passion, I didn't give up. So the difference is that when you follow your passion, you make sure that you're the best at it, you're number one, and you're creating magic instead of just earning money and making your parents happy. So when you start working on your passion, you create this form of self-success where you're happy that you're doing it for yourself, and your family might not be happy, your mom and dad might not be happy that you're doing it for yourself, but in the end, you're happy in the end of it. Then it kind of resonates. Their parents realize that, okay, this is what's making him happy, and this is what makes us happy. And because you don't want to screw up, you'll be the best, and eventually you'll be doing exactly what you did here. You'll be supporting your family, and you'll be supporting yourself with your family this time, and you'll be happy. So when it comes to music and making music, I felt like this is plainly described because you really can't touch music unless you're playing it, but it can really touch you, and that's what inspired me to kind of go into music and more, because I would be on stage and I would see people in front initially at Sunburn 2009, the year before I started playing. Armin van Buuren was closing the stage and he played one song that everyone in the front row was crying, and people behind me was crying because the fireworks are going off, and it was that also just made me click, saying, yo, like, he's putting emotions into people, he's making people cry, he's making people feel happy. So that's what got me into it. Like, I've played so many gigs now, and each time after the gig I see so many happy faces, and I see myself so happy because of me being able to create happiness in another person's life, or me being able to inspire someone to get off their day job and try to become a musician. Like, I get so many messages saying, oh, can you help me, can you help me? It's like I take my time and send them messages back saying, hey, send me emails and this and that, because I know that they are in the same boat as I am, and they really they need to find a channel to convey the emotions into what they do. But at the same time, emotions can really ruin you. Like, I've initially, when I started, I got a lot of hate because I was a kid, as I mentioned before, and that brought me down a lot. That took me down, and I didn't really want to make music, and I was contemplating whether I'm doing the right thing. But then, if you work on it, you create such a pattern where it kind of keeps you going. Even if someone hates on you, you'll be sad, you'll be less inspired for 2-3 days, but that hate makes you better at what you are. But the only issue with, again, emotions is that if you don't know how to channel it right into producing something like a piece of art or your music, then it's really going to put you down. So my first track that I released was "Light Up the World" with an American singer, Lauren Evans, and because I put so much heart and passion and soul into that one track, in the lyrics and everything, and I wanted to light up people's worlds and I wanted to inspire people. I put so much effort and money and everything into it to get it to number 13 on the global charts on Beatport and number 15 in India, beating Martin Garrix, David Guetta, Darrow, Hardwell, everyone, to stay on that chart for 60 days. And that was because it was my passion, because I knew that I really don't want to screw that up. I really don't want to just release it and just say, okay, fine. And this track had a lot of emotions for me, and had a lot of heart and soul from the entire team, from my parents, from Lauren, from everyone. So when it came to your passion, you really didn't want to screw it up, so you made sure it's the best. While I had another track that just released called Raja, it was just a track to get rid of, and it was like, okay, I need to finish it and put it on a label, so let's just make it and let's get done with it so we can get signed to bigger labels now. So I didn't promote that track at all. You might have seen 2-3 posts of it, like little boosted posts. You might see 1-2 artists playing it here and there, but that was because I had no emotion in it, and there was no passion put into the whole production of the track. The whole story of the track was just, oh, I need to get it done, let's go. So Light Up the World also got played by Nicky Romero and so many artists. Armin van Buuren played it. So that was a dream come true for me. So how I could put my passions together and combine them together is that I channel them. You don't want them to overlap. So what happens when they overlap, both your passion or what you do and your emotions go up and down. So when you have them on a parallel path, you have to learn how to like channel them, and so you can push, like if I have a really good gig and I'm really happy, I'll suddenly make a really happy track because I put my emotions into that track. But if something bad happens to me and I'm really down for a week and I really don't want to do anything, I've learned to push that aside and make another track where obviously I kind of fake the emotions, but making that track brings the emotions up again. So in a way it all balances out, and you just have to learn how to channel them together. And eventually when you read out, this was I think just before I cried on stage, because I was so happy. I was overwhelmed because I worked hard for 5 years to get onto main stage in Goa, playing to 40,000 people, and again, like it reconfirmed that this is what I want to do. I was on stage and my manager was behind me, and then I turned to him, I'm like, yo, I'm crying, I don't know what to do because I was so overwhelmed by it. And he just laughed at me and he just kept recording me for some reason. But it was when you put so much work into what you want to achieve, and when it's your passion, again, you don't screw it up. And when you reach that stage, you don't believe it, and you kind of, it makes you want to work harder, and it pushes you to be the best again. And you get overwhelmed with emotions. My mom's always crying whenever I play. When she sees me on stage, she's always like, come back and hug her, and she's still crying and crying and crying. That's because in the first few years, they were still confused about what I want to do. They were still like, are you sure you want to be a DJ? Is that what you want to do? Are you sure? Do you want to go into business? And I told them, no, this is what I want to do. And they let me sacrifice an entire year of university to follow my dream. And you have to make sacrifices. You have to make a lot of changes in your life to reach where you want to go. So I would say, if you've not found your passion yet, don't worry, because you'll find it eventually. It just hits you. So one day when you're picking up metal, when you're working on something, it hit you like, okay, shit, this is what I want to do. You might be playing football, you might be in a business meeting, you might be whatever you're doing, but just don't push yourself to find your passion, because that's just going to make it go further and further away, and you're going to go in the wrong direction completely. Because I want to be a football player, but I kept doing it, but then this passion came along, and this is what I want to do even more. So if you don't force yourself to get into something, if you don't force yourself to be a businessman, or if you don't force yourself to be an engineer, then maybe it'll take a while. You might lose a lot of you might lose family support, you might lose your friends, you might lose everything. But in the end, you're going to be smiling at your life, and you're going to have self-success, and you're going to be happy by yourself. So I just say follow your dreams and be happy. Thank you.